Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. Let's wait for a couple of minutes for everyone to join in the session. So, team, uh, while everyone is joining in, we have a quick poll to do a vibe check here. What excites you most about the festivals? Is it shopping, food, family time, or travel? While we are waiting for others to join in, let's quickly vote for the poll. Great. It's the family time that excites everyone during the festive season. And well said, yes. We all love to go back to our families, celebrate all the festival, and have a cozy time with our families. Okay, I think let's get started. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. I know it's the peak festive season, and all the marketeers out here have a busy and tight schedule, but still, everyone has made up some time to join in this webinar. I'm sure the upcoming 50 minutes would be a power packed session for everyone, and all of you will walk away with great insights, tips, and tricks that you can follow this festive season to make it a great success. Let's welcome our first speaker, who is our India Customer Success Head, Tanvi Jain. She would be talking about all the festival trends and setting up the stage for to decode the marketing pulse. Over to you, Tanvi.
Thank you, Purnima. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Festivals, as we know in India, are big, right? We all look forward to the big and small festivals, and especially this season right now is full of the family time that you all spoke about. It's full of a lot of aplomb. As consumers, we are ready to we are ready to receive marketing messages. We put money aside through the rest of the year to spend during this time, right? And as marketeers, as brand managers, you guys have been planning for this session, planning for this festive period as well. You will pour in very, very big budgets. We will see advertising everywhere. And that's it, right? Once the festive season ends, we see a huge drop. We are very happy as marketeers to, just enjoy the festive spike. But here's the interesting bit. Data suggests that festive shoppers actually are three times more likely to become repeat buyers if they are nurtured within the first 30 days. And that's the opportunity. How do you convert your festive spikes into sustained revenue? This is where AI powered marketing comes into place. And this is the story that we want to tell you in today's webinar. Imagine predictive analytics can flag off the festive shoppers who can become your loyalists, or smart journeys that you can set up for chasing all your festive buyers with style recommendations or personalized guides. Imagine that your entire holy grail of channels, right? WhatsApp, RCS, SMS, nudges, emails, everything coming together, not just to tell your shoppers that you're there for their shopping needs, but that you understand what they need from you as a product. This is what Netcore invests its time in. This is what keeps us awake, day in and day out. And we are here to build this journey with all our customers. So we have some brands who've already, registered a lot of great success. You can see some powerful names on the screen. So 3x revenue growth with Mintra, which in their EURS sale, which is, I'm told, which is Asia's largest fashion sale. Then you have Forest Essentials with almost 306% growth. Crocs registering 650% growth with high engagement WhatsApp marketing. So the grabs are all up for takes for all of us, and we are here together with you to build a great omni-channel strategy. Again, thank you for joining the webinar. My team here will take us through some great strategies, some great ideas that you can deploy in your pre, during, and post festive marketing season. Use this opportunity to build long-term relationships. That is our message for today. Use this opportunity, this spike, this budget that you're going to pour in to build a long-term sustained revenue stream. With that, let's kick this off. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Tanvi, for throwing some light on the magic that we have been creating with the brands together. I'm sure all the marketeers out here would be looking for such great mantras, tips, and tricks that they can utilize during this festive season. And to deliver the same, we have Shweta here, who is a customer success manager at Netcore. She has brought in some great marketing mantras, tips, and strategies for all of you guys. So you can take away and walk away with actionable insights that you can quickly deploy during this already ongoing festive season. Over to you, Shweta.
Thanks, Purnima. Thank you so much. Thanks, Tanvi. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's doing great. And I'm sure this quick webinar is going to ensure that you guys can, I'm pretty sure this webinar is going to come so power-packed that you will be able to walk away with some good tips and tricks that you can use during your festive period and post-festive period. Now, in India, we all know festive e-commerce, right? It starts right from your Dasara, Navratri, Diwali, Christmas, and New Year. Now, this 3-month spree is like a shopping marathon. It's not just like a weekend sprint, right? To win this marathon, we need to design as marketeers, right? We need to design the feeling at every beat, right from the first diya that is being purchased, and and then the thank you note that is being sent, and what after festival, right? So this, while you're creating this design at every beat, is what will enhance performance. Now, while we know that this 3-month is the biggest chunk in India, I think as a country we celebrate festivals all around the year. Now, these tips and tricks that we are going to showcase in this webinar can be used for any of these festivals that you encounter. Now, before we move into strategies and tips, right, let's quickly unpack the festive basket. What does the ecosystem look like? Now, we all know that everything is moving online right now. So, and consumer spending is increasing day by day. 84% of Indian consumers have reported or have shown an increase in online shopping budget. Now, 66% plan to spend over 25,000 rupees for the season, and 33% plan to spend over 50,000 during the festive season. Now, it's no longer just about quantity, it's also about value, right? And the categories like clothing, gadgets, home appliances are leading the cart. Now, if you look at the purchase behavior, right, online is soaring. 64% people are shopping online. Now, this is time for marketeers to know that most of your people are there digitally. Now, what are we doing for these 64% people? Are we having journeys that are set up when they come to the website? How are we tackling them at every touch point when they come to your website? How are we tackling the drop-offs? Are we nurturing them at every point, every step that they are with you? So that becomes very important. And there is still an essence of offline purchases, right? 34% people still want to purchase offline. They would like to have the touch and feel. Now, as marketers, what are we doing with these offline people? Are we able to also target them online? Are we able to bring them to your respective MarTech stack? And what are we doing for them? Uh, and then we have the 2% hybrid folks who prefer to shop either online or offline or both. Now, when we look at user behaviors, right, we have three sets of people that stand out during festive period. One is just like you and me now, sitting across the room. We are all scrolling in the night on our phones. We are so unplanned. We just we go on Instagram or any website. We just try to research at that given point in time and buy something. So we are all the unplanned shoppers. And then next we have the category explorers, who are people who are not loyal to any brand. They just want to go look into any category and then make a purchase. Now, a pro insight here is that men are mostly category explorers, right? They're just hopping on and looking at different categories, while women are mostly brand loyalists. Now, the last category is your gold mine of people who love you, people who want to buy from you over and over again, who don't mind spending. So this set of user behavior is what you actually see during the festive period. Now, while that is with the retail side, of things, now festive shopping is not just for retail or e-commerce, right? This is also a peak time for BFSI folks. Now, people are doing a lot of credit card spends. People are buying a lot of loans. People want to make their dream purchases come to life. Now, for marketers, what does this mean? This is the time for you to stitch the campaigns together. And also with now in Modi coming and announcing the new GST rate, right? I think this is a sweet spot for BFSI. I think mostly to all the categories that we have, the appliances, your vehicles, GST has been reduced. What does that mean? People are going to value more purchases. They're going to spend more, upgrade, which also means they're going to increase their basket size. Now, when a basket size increases as a consumer, what do? You actually go to financial institutions for help. We want more loans. We want better credit card offers. We want to buy now, pay later. So hence, the key takeaway here is that it's important for you to stitch both the retail and BFSI piece together, and then target your customers accordingly. Now, while we know how the ecosystem looks like for BFSI and for retailers, and while we know a lot of marketers out there are screaming offers, wherever you go, the talk is all about offers and coupons. But what do consumers actually crave? Now, some research that we have done, the data that we've digged into, we've come up with a small mantra that's called crave. Now, what does this stand for? C stands for convenience, right? So we know that 1 in 2 shoppers abandon anything if it's not in one click. I think you and I agree that everything has to be convenient. A 10-minute quick ecom delivery is no longer the thing. We need everything in 2 to 3 minutes. So that's convenience. That's what people are craving for. R stands for rewards. Like Gen Z, followed by millennials, are mostly inclining towards treating loyalty program as a long-term investment, right? If someone is buying a sneaker, we want 2000 rupees discount. We also want 2000 reward points. That's what consumers are after. Now, A stands for accessibility, right? Now, we are no longer in an era where we have to be present. We have to be more relatable. So let's say, for example, we are buying a Kanjivaram sari and then you dropped off. Someone's buying a sari and they dropped off. And you get a notification saying 40% off on this Kanjivaram sari. Now, let's take another example where you get a push notification in the language, in your vernacular language. Like, ಈ ಸೀರೆಗೆ ಶೇಕಡ 40ರಷ್ಟು ರಿಯಾಯಿತಿ ದೊರೆಯಲಿದೆ. So, which means that, this is an emotion. Someone got to you in your language. Now, festival is all about emotion. And what better way to get to your consumer if not in their own language, right? So that's accessibility for you. And then comes the videos. We know that we are all hooked on to videos and ARs right now. We all want 3 to 4 second bite-sized videos, right? And Lenskart, for example, has made virtual trying of glasses as a norm. That's where we are shifting towards. And lastly, 60% of us will pay more will pay for more transparency, right? If you have two packages that you get, one in a plastic bag, one in a jute bag, which one are you going to resonate more with? I'm pretty sure most of us are going to say we want to resonate with the second part, with the jute bag. So the key here is that we are willing, as consumers, we are willing to spend more if it means that we are leading to a better lifestyle. Yeah. So now we know what customers actually crave for. We know the mantra, but where do we actually start from, right? Before the festival, what is this pre-preparation that we are supposed to do? First thing, audit and set your targets. You go back as marketers, please go back to your previous festive campaigns, look into what worked well, what did not work well, what were your top selling products, what are some SKUs that you have to revamp, right? Leverage all of that data and set your KPIs accordingly. Have a KPI dashboard done. And then always remember your goal is to outbeat the last year's goal. You need to outbeat the last year's goal. So that's where how you set a benchmark for yourself. Now, once the data is ready, the next thing that you would want to do is plan and start early, right? You need to map your strategy to the festive rhythm. I'm sure all of you here on the call know the pre-festive buzz, then the peak week, post-festive. Get your teasers and get your influencer collaborations up and ready during pre-week. And then during the period of the festival, right? Have your creatives out. Go focus more on AMPs. AMPs are getting so much traction in terms of engagement. Look into UGCs. And then what about your post-festival? Get your thank you cards ready. Have your RFMs, then do campaigns to your RFM cohorts accordingly. Now, while this takes care of pre-buzz, when we step into the peak buzz, right? What do we do during the peak festival? That's where our golden mantra comes in. Shruti, can we just go to the... So what are your golden rules for festive success? This is what happens during the festival period, right? We are all, as marketers, need to focus on selling to the occasion, not an SKU. If I'm buying a kurta, I'm not buying a kurta I'm just buying the entire look. So the third tip, personalize deeply. Okay, we have to move beyond RFMs. We need to look into micro cohorts powered by elasticity, powered by predictability, right? And when we look at cohorts, mini cohorts, if you are targeting a deal hunter, please go ahead and showcase more coupon codes, more of offers. And when you're looking at premium seekers, what are they after? They're after experiences, loyalty programs, and your gifting personas in the end. They want an emotional connect. They want bundling. So that's how you personalize deeply. Now, while all of this is great, right? You know what your data is from the previous year. You know when to start. You know how to personalize. I still believe, right? Having worked with so many brands, I still believe creatives are your biggest hook. Your creativity is what drives people to come engage with your brand, and then make that it's the biggest nudge. So what are the message drivers that you're using? So recently I remember I purchased a product. If it's gone today, it's gone forever, Shweta. That was actually what was told to me. And I think I immediately opened that message, and there was something that I had added to the cart, and I made that purchase immediately. So message drivers are your biggest hook, right? Create that urgency, bring that togetherness, the first Diwali together, bring that. And then the next piece, user-generated content. I think a lot of people have spoken enough around this. I'd like to state an example. I think recently I saw Aditya Birla do a virtual ramp campaign. Women were asked to sort of showcase what is the type of attire they like, be it a kurta, be it a sari, be it a salwar, right? Then they were asked, what is your size? Then they were asked, what is your color? What is your fit? Then lastly, they were asked to upload a photo, a selfie of their own. Now, using all of these 4 data points, they were able to create a video of that persona walking on a ramp. Now, come on, guys, how many of us do not want to see ourselves walking on the ramp, right? You want to be on the ramp. Then they asked them to post that on social media, and they were given coupons for it. And I think it was a brilliant idea. I think it's great for brands to involve customers as well in that journey, and then make it fun and creative. And lastly, creative toolkits and your interactive pages. So before I wrap up the golden rules for festive success, we need, from a brand's perspective, you need to know where you can draw that line and take the hit. What's your protective margin like? So where can you take that hit? We need to get away from, we need to swap these blanket discounts to understanding personas and giving tiered discounts to them, right? Based on quantity. If someone bought more than 5, give them a discount for that. If someone purchased more than 5,000, give them a discount. Then we have product bundles, use themed bundles, low margin, high margin product together. And then lastly, your mystery codes. Those are again your emotional hooks. Now, while we've seen all of these tips and tricks, you might come to me and say, how do we scale this to millions of people, right? It's impossible for us to do this manually. That's where your best friend, Festive Planner, comes in place. AI is something that can empower every marketer during this festive season and after festive season and throughout the year. AI is the new big thing. Now, what can AI do? Some of the things that you can see on the screen, real-time segmentation. I think we've spoken enough about creating micro segments for your campaigns. And then, for example, if you're purchasing a kurta, you're no longer a women shopping kurta. Let's say you went to the kids section and also looked into some kid attire. You are a festive shopper now. You're a family festive shopper. And for you, the targeting will be very different. And we have some cool features on our Netcore CE, on our MarTech stack, which will sort of help you with real-time segmentation, followed by predict personalization, looking into what customers' patterns are. Amazon does it brilliantly, I think. In no time will it tell you what is your next purchase going to look like. So personalization, predictions, looking at patterns becomes very important. And I think AI is going to help you with that. And lastly, I think all of you that are on the panel must have heard from all the CSMs, heard from our product talk about this feature, AI feature that we have, wherein we are able to deliver communication at the time that you would actually respond to it, right? If a Shruti is opening an email at 9 p.m., if a Purnima is opening at 10 p.m., they are receiving emails or WhatsApps at that respective time. So that's what Netcore is able to do today. We are able to deliver the right message to the right people at the right time. So that's AI for you.
Shweta, those are some great tips and tricks for all the marketeers during the festive season. So, do you also have some tips and tricks for all the marketeers how to, continue this momentum even after the festival ends?
Definitely, Purima. I think that's a great question. I think this particular part of the webinar I'm going to take you through some snippets around what do you as a brand supposed to do post-festive. We've spoken so much. We are always we are doing a lot of sales. We are nudging customers. And more often than not, I think like Tanvi mentioned earlier, there's that slump period. People tend to forget what to do, or they are very reluctant. They take a step back after all the festive buzz and they forget what to do after festive. So the whole idea here is to do a sentiment shift, right? We need to get away from the whole festive spark to everyday glow. How do we get this glow every day? It's not just during festive period. How do we make everyday moments? Now, some tips and tricks that as a marketer you can follow is that, there are some post-purchase education content that you can send across. Your lookbooks, you bought a jewelry. Tomorrow, I'm interested to know as a consumer, how do I take care of that jewelry? What sort of storage boxes am I supposed to use to take care of this jewelry, right? You can send across content like that to keep them on hook. Education is pretty important. And my favorite, feedback. This is the right time for you to get that traffic to answer everything that you want to know. What worked for you? What didn't work? Did this price bundle work for you? Did these SKUs work for you? What is that you want to see better in our stack? And then there are a lot of coupons and rewards that you guys get. Set up some automation journeys to remind your customers about their coupons or their rewards are expiring. And lastly, I think every brand should have a glow day. Now, when you think about payday, how many of you are going to think about Swiggy? That's the impact that Swiggy has made on all of you. The minute salary hits into your account, you are just like, okay, payday is happening on Swiggy. Let me just go order a biryani, right? So as a brand, choose your glow day. It can be a Friday, it can be a Wednesday, it can be a Monday. Make sure that day resonates with your brand. And let's not forget the BFSI folks, like BFSI, right? This is your time for you to cross-sell your strategy. Someone bought a savings account. Look into how can you sell them an FD, mutual fund, cross-sell. This is your time. And then rewards and loyalty, the traction has picked up so much during festive period. Continue nudging them to spend more to get more rewards. And then again, feedback on financial products is very important. And one pro tip that I would give is start inviting your customers to webinars and events that you guys host. Host some advisory webinar sessions, financial sessions for your people to come and listen. That way, the momentum is not lost. How can you spend efficiently? What are some budgeting tips? What are some ways that you can save money? Things like that. And lastly, digital adoption, right? People are lost. People don't know how to even claim rewards on the app. Send them some nuggets on short videos so that adoption of the product gets better. So yeah, we've unlocked what customers crave. We've told you how AI can help you. We've told you what to do for post-festive. All of these are great tools. But let me reiterate back to where I started, right? You need to design the feeling at every step, marketeers. Every step you need to have the design a beat, understand your customer pain points at every beat, refine their problems, refine your strategies at every beat. And that's the only way I think brands are going to stick to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shweta. I think you've got us covered in all the stages of festival, be it the pre-festive, festive, and post-festive. I'm definitely taking the crave concepts to all of my brands. Thank you so much. Team, feel free to drop any of your queries in the Q&A. We will pick it up and get those answered. Up next, we have a dialogue between a brand marketing manager, Suraj, and a Netcore marketing consultant, Shruti. So here's a dialogue between the day-to-day life of a brand marketing manager, the challenges they have to go through, what are their major pain points, and how is Netcore solving for them?
Thank you, Purnima. Hi, Shruti. Thank you for giving us the pre-festive and the peak festive sales strategies. Now, what I would like to further discuss with you as a marketer and a long-term client of Netcore is how do we plan and optimize the current ongoing strategies in order to drive my conversions at the moment.
Hi, Suraj. Thanks for this question. I'm sure the Josh is very high. We are all amidst the biggest festive sale of the year. But you've asked the most appropriate question. How do we sort of take a pause, check how our campaigns are performing, and how do we optimize on the go? The answer for this, Suraj, is personalization. How do you personalize not just cohorts, but also personalize the communications that go into each of these micro cohorts? For example, if I'm someone who checked out your coupons but did not make a first purchase, but you came in, you just browsed and you dropped off. The communication for me should be something like, "Hi Shruti, you came, you saw, but you did not purchase." And a communication for you should be more recommendations. Maybe you have not discovered the right product or the right category. Hence, you have not moved ahead in your consumer journey, which is why different micro cohorts based on the events or the activity triggers and personalized communication is the answer.
While I understand that personalized campaigns are a great way to drive engagement, the challenge is primarily with execution. My team faces a heavy bandwidth crunch and are hesitant to invest in such personalized communications that go out. We don't have a dedicated specialist, for example, segmentation and in order to create content. So how do we quickly execute these campaigns? I definitely need help with that.
We hear you, we feel you, which is why Netcore has gone ahead and built your very own AI campaign assistant, Meet Agentic AI, where all of these experts, right from a marketeer to a segment expert to a content expert, are all available at the click of a button. Are you ready to see the magic of what can be done? Let's say that you want to create a campaign. You can just put a prompt and we can go ahead with this.
Yeah, but this interface looks quite familiar to some of the other OpenAI tools that we use. How is this any different from those that we use?
Absolutely right. While this looks like something you may be using, how Netcore's agentic AI is different is this is built on your brand's universe. So it takes your past performance, understands your user universe, and then suggests strategies not which are not random, but suggest strategies that are tailored to your brand. let's say you want to run a Valentine's Day campaign. I'll go ahead with this. This is a very basic prompt. But then there are some information that it decides to ask. Okay, for the purpose of this demo, I'm just going to put in this prompt. Say, what are the goals? What are the product details? And once I fill up all of this, I just say that I want a 3% increase in my perfume sales from 7th to 14th Feb. Now, if you can see, a segment agent has joined. It has identified 4 segments that we should immediately start using. Now, this is a very intuitive feature. If I continue here, it tells me what is the segment logic and it shows me the reachable count on every channel. Now, how this is different to other open AIs, once I approve these segments are already created on your panel, Suraj. So your team does not have to go put in the logic and make segments. Segments are already available. Now you will tell me segments ban gaya, but content kaise banao? So we got you covered. There's a content agent now who has joined. I'll just skip additional questions. Now, understanding the brief and the segments that we've defined, the content agent will go ahead and create different content for different channels. Once I approve this, voila, your content is also now ready on the panel. Next, there is a scheduler agent. So you don't even have to go and work on a draft. The scheduler agent will schedule 4 different campaigns. It will also take into account send time optimization, like Shweta mentioned earlier. So it will take into account all of the features that we are building and schedule 4 different campaigns. Now here you are you can either schedule this and save it as a draft if you want to go and make minor tweaks, or you can go ahead and approve it and the campaigns will be executed. So here I can either approve either of this, or I can just say go and execute the flow. So just like that, the flows are ready. The campaign has been executed to all your micro segments.
This is actually super impressive, Shruti. It's like having a super efficient team together that takes away your operational tasks and gives us more room to focus on other things. But there's another challenge that we face. It's often difficult for us to measure the performance of the campaigns across all these different channels that we send. And apart from the extensive internal analysis that we do, how do we figure out what channel or what targeting strategies are actually working for us?
Absolutely. I wouldn't want your AI automation experience to end here. We would want, this also to be automated, which is why Netcore has gone ahead and created an insights agent. For example, if I want to know, say what has been, in this festive period of 3 months, what has been my best performing campaigns in terms of CTRs, but has the lowest conversions. So if I put in this prompt, it will start analyzing all of the campaigns across all the channels. It will, while it analyzes, it will not just give me the reasons for this discrepancy, it will also give me some recommendations. So let's see, it's asking me time period. Yes, last 3 months and all channels. So the insights agent now starts investigating. It's taken all channels that I've used for 3 months. Now it slowly starts giving you what has been the challenges. Now it's identified the problem statement that CTRs are high, but conversions are low. And channel by channel, it starts giving me key issues and the recommendations that I can use. So I can see WhatsApp, it says there is a timing misalignment. Instead of morning, we can shift to a 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. window, which would convert the highest. Similarly, for browser push, app push, email, so on and so forth, it's not just investigation and report, it's actionable recommendations.
This surely helps us, Shruti. And thank you so much for taking us through these amazing features. Definitely excited to trying these out.
Surely, Suraj, let's take this offline and let's see how we can get this implemented for you.
Thank you so much, Shruti and Suraj. Shruti, thank you so much for walking us through the agentic AI piece. It's really cool to see all of my campaigns and everything getting executed within minutes. I'm sure this will be a game changer. Here marks the end of our webinar. Thank you so much everyone for joining in. We have one quick poll for everyone just to see how relevant the webinar was. Light's growth action, as you can see on the screen, is not just the theme, but it's a formula for everyone's success. So, light up your customer journey with relevance, take action with AI, and sustain growth with storytelling. This has been the mantra for us. We wish all the marketing teams all the very best for our all upcoming festive season. May your numbers soar as high and your festive colors be as bright as possible. So, team, here is a quick festive webinar report that Netcore has curated. You can scan the QR code and get access to your exclusive festive marketing report. I request everyone to quickly scan the QR code and download your copy.
Thank you, Purnima. This is helpful.
Team, please feel free to drop any of your queries in the Q&A section. And feel free to reach out to your Netcore POC for all other queries. Once again, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Have a great week ahead. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, guys. Bye.